Sahana vavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharyaya Nachiketase cha. Humble prostrations to one and all. In the last class, we were seeing the first verse of the sixth Valli, or the third Valli of the second chapter. So we were discussing the description of Ashwatha vṛkṣā, the description of the tree of transmigration. The essence of this verse is the central root of this tree is compared with the ultimate truth. That ultimate truth alone is imperishable. Everything else is in a state of flux, constantly changing. So if we want to have peace and security in this world, there is only one way. We will have to hold on to the changeless substratum in us, which is the Supreme Self. This constant experience of change is compared with Ashwatha vṛkṣā. Ashwatha, that which does not stay tomorrow. Ashwatha. That's why the name is given Ashwatha. Experience of constant change. A person cannot take rest when everything is changing. The ultimate rest is only when we come to know the changeless substratum in us. Therefore, we should all know the self. This is the essence. So we were going through the description of the samsara vṛkṣā as given by Bhagavan Ādi Śaṅkarācārya. He has exhaustively commented upon this verse. We are going line by line of how Bhagavan has described this tree and compared the Ashwatha vṛkṣā with our life. So in the last class we have seen that a person who has no backing of the Vedic knowledge, who has no backing of Guru Parampara, will get totally confused with this world, regarding the origin of this world, regarding every aspect of this world. But as far as a person who has the knowledge of Guru Parampara, who is exposed to the Vedic teaching, everything is clear for him. So Bhagavan Śaṅkarācārya says, Vedanta nirdharita parabrahma moolasaraha. The main root of this tree is Parabrahman, the pure consciousness, the Supreme Self. And this is very clearly pointed out in the Upanishads, in Vedanta. Vedanta nirdharitaha. Vedanta and Upanishad, they mean the same thing. So the knowledge mentioned in the Upanishad, this is the highest knowledge of the Vedas. And they very clearly point out that the whole world rests upon the Supreme Self, the Parabrahman, and that itself is the root of the whole world. Right. So the main root is Brahman, fine. What is the seed of this samsara? Every tree must have a seed. What is the seed of this samsara vṛkṣā? So Bhagavan Śaṅkarācārya says, Avidya kama karma avyakta bija prabhavaha. Yes, there is a seed for this tree. And what is the seed? The seed is avyakta bija. The seed is unmanifest, avyakta. Everything regarding a tree is there in a seed, but it is not seen, it is not manifest. All the infinite details of a tree are present in the seed in an unmanifest form, in an avyakta form. In the same way, what is the seed of the samsara tree? The avyaktavastha, the unmanifest state, is the seed. As we have seen in the last class, the whole creation comes from avyakta state, unmanifest state. So that avyakta state is the seed of this tree. Avyakta bija prabhavaha. The creation evolves from the unmanifest to the manifest. It evolves from the causal, goes through the subtle, and becomes the gross state. From karana it begins, then it becomes sukshma, then it becomes sthula. Creation evolves from karana state, causal state. Then it evolves into subtle state, sukshma state, and then it evolves into sthula, gross state. So the seed is avyakta prabhavaha. Now as far as a jīva is concerned, what is the seed of the samsara? Avidya kama karma. My own ignorance about myself is the seed. Avidya. And from this ignorance about myself comes desires, kama. My desires in me makes me put forth effort to fulfill my desires. Those efforts are called karma. So ignorance about myself, ignorance about my blissful state. Actually, who am I? I am infinite blissful self. But when I don't know about it, then this ignorance in me makes me desire things, beings, and situation outside. These desires are called kama. When I desire something, I cannot keep quiet. I will have to put forth effort. These efforts are called karma. So they always go in pair. Avidya, kama, karma. They are triplets. They always go in three. They always go together. Avidya, kama, karma. So what happens after karma? After karma comes karma phala. As a result of this karma phala, I am in this world. I am in this world of object, emotions, thought. I am in this world with body, mind, intellect. I am in this world as perceiver, feeler, thinker. So from avidya comes kama, from kama comes karma, from karma comes karma phala, and as a result of karma phala comes samsara vṛkṣā. Now, how can avidya kama karma becomes the seed of samsara vṛkṣā? Seed means cause. So we are born to fulfill our unfulfilled desires. So in this sense, Kama becomes a seed for the future births. We are born to reap the results of our past actions. In this sense, karma becomes a seed for our future birth. So all the three are seeds only. But since kama and karma are born out of avidya, so the primary seed is avidya only. The real seed is avidya. The original seed is avidya. If this seed is roasted in the fire of knowledge, the samsara tree will never sprout. Once we gain the self-knowledge that I am already infinite, I am already perfect, I don't have to seek perfection, bliss, etc. from the outer world. It is my nature. Once I know this, then there is no more any desire. Kama is gone. And when desires are no more there, karma also cannot be there. There cannot be any actions. So we say the seed is roasted in the fire of self-knowledge. Once a seed is roasted, it can never sprout. Okay, so that is the glory of self-knowledge. So the seed is avidya, kama, karma. As far as the outer world, the seed is avyakta, the unmanifest state of the world. Okay. Now, what is the first expression of this seed? So, as we see, when a seed is sown upon the earth, what is the first expression of this seed? The seed appears as a sprout. What is that sprout? Bhagavan says, Apara Brahma Vijnana Kriya Shakti Dvayatmaka Hiranyagarbha Ankuraha. Apara Brahma Vijnana Kriya Shakti Dvayatmaka Hiranyagarbha Ankuraha. Ankura means a sprout. So the first thing that we see when the seed sprouts, a small ankura. So this sprout, Bhagavan says, is nothing but Hiranyagarbha. This Hiranyagarbha is also called as Apara Brahma or inferior Brahman or Saguna Brahman. So you'll always listen to these two terms, nirguṇa Brahma and saguna Brahma. So nirguṇa Brahman is sometimes called as superior Brahman, Parabrahma. Saguna Brahma is called Apara Brahma, inferior Brahman. So Brahman with respect to creation is called Saguna Brahman. Brahman in its absolute nature is called nirguṇa Brahman. What is the nature of nirguṇa Brahman? Satchit Ananda is its nature. Satyam Jnanam Anantam is the nature of Brahman. So this nirguṇa Brahman is called Parabrahma. Saguna Brahman is called Aparabrahma. Why is Saguna Brahman called inferior? It is called inferior because this name comes only because of creation. With respect to creation, Brahman is called Saguna Brahman. Saguna means with attributes, with gunas. So since creation is an illusion, experienced only by the Jivatmas, and this creation gets falsified with self-knowledge, this Saguna Brahman or Apara Brahman is called inferior Brahman. Inferior in the sense it is not absolutely real. Another name of this Saguna Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. This is the sprout of the samsara vṛkṣā. So if you observe, when a sprout emerges, two leaves also emerge. What are the two leaves of samsara vṛkṣā sprout? So Bhagavan says, Vijnana Kriyashakti Dvayatma Hiranyagarbha Ankuraha. Dvayatmaka Hiranyagarbha Ankuraha. The two leaves are Vijnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti. Vijnana Shakti means the power to know. Kriya Shakti means the power to do. Power to know, Vijnana Shakti, is an expression of Sattva. Kriya Shakti, the power to do, is an expression of Rajas. These are the two powers that we see in this samsara vṛkṣā sprout. Power to do and power to know. Now, as the sprout grows, the trunk gradually takes shape. What is the trunk or the stem of this samsara tree? So Bhagavan says, Sarva prani linga bheda skandaha. Skandaha means trunk. What is a trunk? Trunk is that part of the tree which supports the tree. The whole tree is supported by the trunk. In the same way, what is that which supports the samsara tree? So Bhagavan says, it is Sarva Prani Linga Bheda, which is the skanda. So the trunk is Sarva Prani Linga. Linga here means subtle body. Sarva Prani Linga means the totality of the subtle bodies of all beings. Total subtle bodies. That is the trunk. Why is it called trunk? See, the whole gross bodies that we see in this world, they all come from the subtle body. It is the subtle body which grossifies, which manifests, which emerges as gross body. All the sthula shariras come from sukshma shariras. The sukshma sharira evolves to become sthula sharira. Just like thoughts evolve to become actions. The subtle thoughts evolve to become grosser actions. All actions come from thoughts. In the same way, all the gross bodies come from subtle bodies. Therefore, the totality of subtle bodies are called as trunk here. Now, for the tree to grow, you must water it. What is that water which nourishes this tree? So Bhagavan says, Trishna jala avaseka udbhuta darpaha. How is this tree nourished? Darpa means getting nourishment. Where is it getting nourishment? There is some water. And what is that water? Trishna jala, the water of desires, the water of cravings. With this water of desires, the tree is nourished. Without desire, this samsara tree will just dry away and die. So with the water of desires, this samsara vṛkṣā is nourished. Now, as this little sapling grows, there appear tender shoots. They are sometimes called as nodular buds. These buds or shoots later become the branches of that tree. So what are those tender shoots? So Bhagavan says, Buddhi Indriya Vishaya Pravala Ankuraha. Vasanas, inclinations, impressions, tendencies that are gathered in the mind while the sense organs interact with the sense objects. These vasanas, they are the tender shoots or sprouts. So here buddhi does not mean intellect, it simply means the mind which gathers the vasanas while interaction with the sense objects. Now, this tree must have leaves. What are those leaves? Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya, Vidya, Upadesha, Palashaha. Its leaves are Shruti. Shruti means Vedas or the revealed scriptures. Vedas means revealed scriptures. Shruti, Smriti. Smriti means composed scriptures, composed by some great acharya like Veda Vyasa Rishi, etc. Nyaya, Nyaya means logic. Vidya, Vidya means learning. Upadesha, instruction. So these are the leaves. What is the role of the leaves in a tree? The leaves nourish the tree. Also, the leaves beautify the tree. The tree looks beautiful when there are leaves. Without leaves, the tree looks barren, ugly, and dead. So the leaves nourish the tree and beautify the tree. In the same way, in a samsara vṛkṣā, the worldly life becomes beautiful with worldly knowledge. And what are the different sources of worldly knowledge? Shruti, knowledge of the Vedas. So here particularly we are talking of karma kanda portion of the Vedas, not the jnana kanda portion. So in the karma kanda we have so many rituals, and all these rituals are meant to fulfill a particular worldly desires. So fulfill your worldly desires and be happy. That is the essence of karma kanda portion. We are not talking of jnana kanda. In jnana kanda, it is nothing but Vedanta Upanishad. In jnana kanda, the essential message is you cannot be happy by fulfilling worldly desires. The only way you can be happy is by putting an end to all desires. That is jnana kanda. That is meant for the advanced seekers, the mumukshus. So here when it is said Shruti, we are not talking of jnana kanda, we are talking of karma kanda. In karma kanda, the message is perform the ritual, please the Lord, get your desires fulfilled and be happy. This is the essence of karma kanda. So here the leaves means karma kanda portion of the Vedas. So just like leaves nourish the tree, beautifies the tree, in the same way, karma kanda portion of the Vedas make our worldly life beautiful. Karma kanda portion makes the samsara tree beautiful because it consists of fulfilling the worldly desires by doing so many rituals. Right. Then comes smriti, the scriptures written by great sages like Vyasa Rishi, etc. They are called as smriti. That which is written out of smriti, smriti means memory. That which is written out of memory, where human intervention is involved, such scriptures are called smriti granthas. This is another source of worldly knowledge. Then comes nyaya, logic. So that knowledge which is gained from nyaya shastras, or the knowledge that is gained by studying the cause-effect relationship in the world. So in this sense, the entire science and technology will come under Nyaya Shastra because science is based upon cause-effect relationship. This can be another source of worldly knowledge. Vidya, Vidya means teachings gained from Gurukula, schools, etc. That can be another source of knowledge. Upadesha, the advice given by the Guru or the teacher to a specific student depending upon his nature, upon his inclination, temperament. That is called as Upadesha. This can be another source of worldly knowledge. So all these varieties of knowledge are effective means in making our life comfortable, convenient, easy, happy. So the worldly knowledge is the leaves of this tree. It is the knowledge we get from the schools and colleges. Whatever our ancestors have found out, invented, discovered, these knowledge, they are preserved and taught to us. This makes our life comfortable. So if you observe our life, what we eat, what we wear, what we study, how we live, the house we stay, transportation system, medical system, engineering marvels, everything has come from our ancestors. They found it useful and hence they were given to us. Thus with all this, as jivas, our life becomes green, prosperous, happy, comfortable, rich, easy. This is the greenery of the samsara vṛkṣā. Remember, this knowledge, worldly knowledge, does not give us liberation from the world, but yes, it makes us happy in this world. And this knowledge is called leaves of the samsara vṛkṣā. Now, a tree must have lot of flowers. What are they? So Bhagavan says, Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Ādi Aneka Kriya Supushpaha. Supushpaha. These are all the beautiful flowers. What are they? Yajna, Dana, Tapa, Ādi Aneka Kriya. These are the beautiful flowers of this samsara vṛkṣā. So what are the flowers mentioned here? Yajna, Dana, Tapas. So in any tree, first comes flowers, then come fruits. In the same way, in the tree of samsara, first comes the flower of karma, then comes the fruit of karma phala. So karmas are the flowers, karma phalas are the fruits. One is the cause, the other is the effect. Pushpa is the cause, phala is the effect. Flower is the cause, fruit is the effect. So too, actions are the cause, results of actions are the effects. So if the flowers are good, fruits are also good. Then the fruits are juicy, fresh, sweet, healthy. If the flowers are not of good quality, then the fruit also will be equally effective. So too, if the karmas are good, karma phala is also good. Punya karma will get us punya karma phala. For papa karma, we get papa karma phala. So here yajna, dana, tapas are mentioned as beautiful flowers. Yajna means sacrifice. Any action where there is a sacrifice involved for the welfare of all, such actions are called yajna karmas. So karmas, the actions which are beneficial for all, such actions are punya karma. Dana means charity. Whatever we have, we share with others. They are also punya karmas. Tapas means austerity. All self-disciplining comes under tapas. The higher in me should readily control the lower in me. Any effort to do this is called tapas. The sense organs must be controlled by the mind. Mind must be disciplined by the intellect. Intellect must ever be in tune with the ultimate reality or God. Any discipline which I undertake in order to achieve this is called tapas. Tapas can be at the bodily level, at the speech level, at the mind level. So they are all yajnadana tapas, they are all beautiful flowers. They are beautiful because they all will lead to punya karma phalas. Okay. Now, when we eat the fruit, fruit is nothing but karma phala, we get the taste of the fruit. There are varieties of tastes in different fruits. What are these tastes compared to? So Bhagavan says, Sukha Dukha Vedana Aneka Rasaha. Rasaha, taste. What are they? So when we eat a fruit, we get varieties of taste: sour, sweet, bitter. So too, what is the taste of karma phala when we go through it? So Bhagavan says, Aneka Rasaha. There are varieties of taste. And how does it taste? Vedana, in the form of experiences, in the form of sensations. What are those sensations? Sukha, dukkha. Those sensations, those experiences come in the form of sukha and dukkha, joys and sorrows. All our experiences are a combination of sukha and dukkha. Some experiences are deep, some shallow. In some sukha is more, dukkha is less. In some dukkha is more, sukha is less. All experiences are a mixture of joys and sorrows. Okay. Now, what is the role of these fruits? What do these fruits do? So Bhagavan says, Prani upajivya ananta phalaha. In the case of a normal tree, the fruits become the means of sustenance for all beings. The birds and animals live on these fruits. In the same way, all the beings of this samsara vṛkṣā exist because of their karma phala. They come into existence because of their karma phala. It is our karma phala which has given us this body, this world, these surroundings. And it is this karma phala which is sustaining us in this world. It is the food which sustains our body. Once the food is over, body also perishes. And how many karma phalas are there on the samsara tree? Bhagavan says, Ananta phala. Just like there are innumerable fruits on a tree, this samsara tree also has got infinite karma phalas. Every act, every thought we think is a karma. Every word we utter is a karma. Every action we perform is a karma. So how many karmas we must have done in countless lives? Hence, Ananta phala. Okay. Now, come to the roots. What are the secondary roots of this tree? The primary root is, yes, Paramatma, the main root. But there are secondary roots, the roots which spread over all the places. What are those secondary roots? So Bhagavan says, Tat Trishna Salila Avaseka Prarudha Jadikrita Dridha Baddha Mulaha. So these roots are prarudha, deep rooted, well developed. Jadikrita, they are entwined with each other, entangled with each other. Like jata, matterlock of rishis. Dridha baddha mulaha, they are firmly fixed upon the ground. So these secondary roots are the vasanas. They are very strong, deep rooted, invisible like the roots. So just like the roots are unseen to the outer world, our vasanas are unseen to others. And if we don't pay attention, it is not seen to us also. It is these roots which nourish the tree. so too vasana roots nourish the samsara tree. Hence, in the BMI chart, we find V below Om. V represents vasanas, the cause of BMI, OET, and PFT. But how did this vasana come into existence? So Bhagavan says, Trishna Salila Avaseka, nourished by the water of Trishna. Wherever there is water, the secondary roots are there. In the same way, the water of cravings for sense pleasures nourish this vasana. Vasana is strengthened by indulgence in sense pleasures. More the indulgence, the more the craving. The more the craving, the more the vasanas. The desire for the sense objects make us indulge in them. Indulgence makes the vasana strong. Hence, desire is compared with nourishing water for the samsara tree. Now, when there is a tree, there must be nests made by the birds living on that tree. What are the nests of samsara tree? And what are those birds? So whenever there is a tree, birds are there, nests are there. So Bhagavan is now comparing what those birds are, what those nests are. So a nest is a home for the birds. Birds reside in their nest. So what are they? So Bhagavan says, Satya Namadi Saptaloka Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshīkrita Nīdaha. So a nest is the home for birds. Birds reside in their nest. The bird makes their nest upon the branches of the tree. So there is a branch and then there is a nest upon the branch. So the branch represents the world and the nest represents the individual world. So though we are all staying in this world, each one of us, we have our own individual personal world. Our world of thoughts, dreams, aspirations, likes and dislikes. So there is a common world which we all see, and there is a personal world which only I see. The common world is compared with the branch, and the personal world is compared with the nest. So what is the branch or the common world? Satyanamadi Saptaloka, the 7 higher worlds. Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam. These are the higher 7 worlds. Bhagavan does not mention the lower worlds. What are the lower worlds? Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, Patala. Bhagavan doesn't mention them. So 7 higher worlds, 7 lower worlds. So Bhagavan is mentioning only the higher worlds here. So this is the common world in which we live. What is the nest? Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshīkrita Nīdaha. The nest is the personal individual world created by each Jivatma. And who are those birds? Brahmadi Bhuta Pakshi. The birds are the Jivatmas, including Brahma. Brahmaji also is a Jivatma living in Brahmaloka. So the more evolved beings reside in the higher worlds, the less evolved beings reside in the lower worlds. So the Jivatmas are compared with birds. Their individual personal world is compared with nests, and the 14 worlds are compared with the branches. So every world is a nest. In the nest, living beings live. Like Brahmaloka Vasis are Brahma in Satyaloka. Human beings live in Bhuloka. The inferior beings live in lower loka like Patala Loka. Now, When there are nests on a tree and when birds reside in it, there must be a lot of chirping of these birds. What is the noise made by these birds compared with in the samsara tree? So what are these noise that these birds make? What can be compared in the samsara tree? So here Bhagavan says, Prani sukha dukha udbhuta harsha shoka jata nritya gita vadi trekshu velita spotita hasita आकृष्ट रुदित हा हा मुंच मुंच इत्यादि अनेक शब्दकृत तुमुलीभूत महारव. It is a maharava, uproar. Tumulibhuta maharava, rendered tumultuous. Aneka shabdakrita, through various sounds. What are these sounds coming from? Where are these sounds coming from? Nritya, dancing, Gita, singing, Vadi, instrumental music. Triakshuvelita, sounds come various kinds of sounds coming from various kinds of sports, entertainment, etc. Aspotita, sounds coming from firecrackers, bombs, clappings of the arms, etc. Hasita, sounds of laughter. Akrushta, so somebody is screaming in anger and then he beats somebody. Rudita, and the one who receives the beating cries. How does he cry? Ha ha, muncha muncha. Ha ha means he is screaming. Ayyo, how helpless I am. Muncha muncha, he pleads. Leave me, leave me. So these are the sounds coming from samsara tree. And where are these sounds coming from? So prani sukha dukkha udbhuta harsha shoka jata. So they are coming from the joys and sorrows of these beings. And where are these joys and sorrows coming from? From conducive and unconducive environment. Sukha and dukkha. So when there is a conducive environment, there is fun, laughter, music, dance, singing, party. And when there is an unconducive environment, there is crying and weeping, screaming and shouting. So these are the various birds chirping upon the samsara vṛkṣā. Various sounds coming from samsara vṛkṣā. Now, a tree can be cut by an axe. So what is that axe with which this samsara tree can be cut? So Bhagavan says, Vedanta vihita brahmatma darshana asanga shastra krita uchchedaha. Asanga shastra uchchedaha. This tree can be cut by the weapon of detachment. Asanga shastra. What is that weapon? Brahma atma darshana asanga shastra. So this weapon of detachment is born out of viveka, right understanding. And what is that right understanding? Brahmatma darshana, that vision of oneness between Atman and Brahman, between the self and Brahman. This vision, this right understanding that God or the ultimate truth is none other than the self in me. This right understanding is viveka. So the weapon born out of this right understanding is vairagya or detachment, and this detachment is the axe. And what is the source of this right understanding? Vedanta vihita. This right understanding, this right knowledge comes from Vedanta, from the Upanishads. So with this right understanding is born vairagya, detachment. And this detachment becomes the sharp, solid axe to chop the tree. The sharpness of the axe is the discriminating ability. How clear is the knowledge, that sharp will be the axe. And now the axe has to be hit with force. That intense desire for liberation, that is the force. Mumukshutvam. So with that intense desire for liberation, the sharp knowledge of discrimination, there is this sharp axe which hits the tree. And with this repeated axing, the tree is cut down. So this axe is nothing but vairagya born out of viveka. Viveka janita vairagya is the axe. Raga brought this tree into existence. Viraga or vairagya alone can destroy this tree and make it non-existent. Esha samsara vṛkṣā ashvattha. This tree is called ashvattha. Yes. Now, when the wind blows, the leaves of the tree move. What is this movement of the leaves compared to? So Bhagavan says, Ashvatthavat kama karma vata irita nitya prachalita swabhavaha. Nitya prachalita swabhavaha, that which constantly moves. These leaves constantly move. And they move because of the wind. What is that wind? Kama and karma, they are the winds. So under the effect of kama and karma, our mind constantly fluctuates. It never remains steady. That fluctuation of the mind is the movement of these leaves. And the fluctuation is because of wind, and that wind is kama and karma. Our desires, our actions. Okay. What are the branches of this tree? Swarga, Naraka, Tiryak, Pretadibihi, Shakhabihi, Avak, Shakaha. So the branches represent different worlds. This has been mentioned earlier. There are higher worlds, there are lower worlds. There are Swargadi higher worlds, Narakadi lower worlds. A tree has branches going upwards and also downwards. The higher branches represent the higher worlds, and the lower branches represent the lower worlds. So the beings who have done punya, they go to the higher worlds. Beings who have done papa, they go to the lower worlds. And they live in their own nests. All these things we have seen earlier. Bhagavan says, Sanatanaha anaditvat chiram pravruttaha. The unique feature about this tree, samsara vṛkṣā, is all the time it is there. As far as a normal tree is concerned, it is born again and again through its seeds. Actually, a normal tree also doesn't die because it keeps on existing in the form of seeds. So too, this samsara vṛkṣā also has got seed of samskaras and vasanas. So therefore, this samsara vṛkṣā is also eternal. It was always there from the beginningless time. Anaditvat chiram pravruttaha. And it will continue to exist if you don't do anything about it. So this samsara vṛkṣā is beginningless and it can go on endlessly. As long as we don't try to seek the self-knowledge and to gain vairagya. And as long as we don't chop this tree with the axe of vairagya, there is no way in which this tree can come to an end. This tree can become non-existent. That's why this tree is sanatana. Ashwatham prahuhu avyayam, it is said in Bhagavad Gita. Urdhva moolam shakham ashwatham prahur avyayam. So that tree is avyayam, imperishable. So unless we chop it down, there is no way in which this tree can come to an end. So how to chop this tree? It is only through viveka. Vairagya comes afterwards. First is viveka, right understanding. What is that which we have to understand? What is the right understanding? Right understanding is knowing the primary root of this tree, because the entire tree is standing on the primary root, the Supreme Self. So the more details are given regarding the Supreme Self, the nature of the Supreme Self, the nature of the primary root. What is the nature of the primary root? Yad eva samsara vṛkṣasya mūlam tadeva shukram shubhram shuddham jyotishma chaitanya atma jyotihi swabhavam tadeva brahma sarva mahatvat. So the nature of that primary root is mentioned here. This topic we will take in the next class. Shift your attention upon that changeless entity in you, the Supreme Self in you, the ultimate cause, the essence in you. This is the way to end this experience of constant change, samsara. This is the way to put an end to this birth-death cycle. So right knowledge has to be gained by gaining the nature of ourself. This topic we will take up in the next class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.